Michael, you just heard Savannah Guthrie saying, and anybody who hears this can understand there can be no closure without, at the very least, having back her mother's remains. I mean, it's one thing to know what happened to her mom. It's another thing to be able to get the body back. And so I'm curious from your perspective, based on what has come out today in terms of the ransom notes and then this plea from the family, what do you make of this? We're coming up on 6 months.
Yeah, I think Savannah was again appealing to the humanity. If there's a human component to this perpetrator, to do the right thing, that they need closure, and she's also keeping the case fresh, right? When I first saw the video, I was like thinking, is this an old one or is this a new one, right? So I think it's good, keeps it in the public eye. So she did a few things there. And she also activates any secondary witnesses. If there's any perpetrator that has any knowledge of this, it keeps it fresh that people are still looking for Nancy Guthrie. So I don't know if she was guided by the FBI in doing the release of this video, but I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. I thought to myself, my first thought was, is this an old video or a new video? Because I saw it on Instagram. My second thought was, oh, maybe there's a major development in the case. Come to find that there hasn't been, but I'm curious. I mentioned we're 6 months into this almost. August 6th will be 6 months. Is it going to work? I mean, do these pleas work? They didn't work for the last 6 months. They have not been able to find her remains. Will it work now? I mean, do you think we have reached a point where, as she said, you can still do the right thing?
I don't know if it's going to work on the perpetrator because, the perpetrator has their own selfish reasons why they don't want to, reveal where Nancy is, because, of course, there's going to be evidence that, that investigators will look at that will help identify eventually this perpetrator. But I think she's, again, appealing to anybody at all that might have any information, any accomplices, anybody that's willing, maybe even to accept a reward still. So, I mean, she's trying to appeal to the perpetrator and anybody else that might have information. Will it work? I mean, hopefully these people are human beings with feelings, and time weakens everything, and maybe relationships are being severed, and that's what they're hoping for, so that they will cooperate with the authorities.
Yeah, I mean, I think to myself, on one hand, I completely hear that. On the other hand, I think the longer time goes on, the farther away we get from the actual event, the greater likelihood that whoever, one person or many, that did this to Nancy Guthrie, that took her from her home in the middle of the night and either advertently or inadvertently caused her death in doing so, there's the real potential that they could get away with this.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. But because time is passing, maybe, bad guys aren't very smart. We rely on them doing dumb things, and maybe they'll get sloppy. Maybe they'll start talking about the case. And I think that's what she's appealing to. Maybe because he felt he got away with it. Maybe he or she is feeling comfortable and might disclose some information to potential witnesses that might, reveal it to the authorities.
Yeah, I mean, before we let you go, when I think about this case, obviously this is not the first case that has been fumbled when it comes to missing people or missing children. But it's been a long time since we've had a case that feels like it was screwed up at this level, this magnitude. And that's coming from a lay perspective. I don't know what it's like to do the hard work of investigating, putting the pieces together, figuring out why somebody did something or didn't, right? But it just from sort of a 30,000-foot view, gosh, it just feels like, how did this get fumbled so badly?
Yeah, you're right. From a layperson, from an investigative background, I think we all are on the same page that sadly Pima County fumbled this investigation. They probably missed opportunities. They might have not collected evidence and properly identified DNA. Because, as we saw in the video, this perpetrator, he doesn't look like a criminal mastermind, right? He's taking bushes, covering the camera. There was definitely opportunity there that could have helped identify this person if done correctly. Maybe if they secured the help of the FBI immediately.
Mhm.
And I feel like, and my colleagues feel the same way, that they definitely, closed the crime scene too soon and then reopen it because they missed some steps. So it didn't look like a professional investigation. And I feel that's why this case is growing cold.
Yeah, I hear you and I agree with you. And to echo Savannah's words, she said there can be no peace. There can be no comfort. They cannot rest. I can't imagine the level of agony. It's one thing to lose a parent, especially at the age of 83, and to live across the country from your parent or to not be with them every day because she has a demanding job in New York. It is another thing to know the fear that your parent must have felt as they were ripped from their home in the middle of the night. It's really just a horrific case. All right, Michael, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night. Thank you.